Hello, welcome to the new sprint review from the Eclipse JKube team. So regarding the sprint's accomplishments, on the JKube side we have released version 1.7.0 and we're still working on the Gradle plugins, trying to align the feature set of our Gradle plugins with the one that we have in the Maven plugins. And we have found and fixed few bugs, and we are very close to the completion. On the Fabricate Kubernetes client side, we are continuing working on version 6 with the help of people from the middleware teams. And last, on the adoption side, I had the opportunity to make my very first Eclipse JKube presentation at the virtual conference Java 2 Days. A blog post from Rohan had been featured in the last Gradle newsletter, so congrats to him. And we have been accepted to mentor students for the next Google Summer of Code. And if we are currently open to students' participation, so if you know any students that could be interested, let us know. So now it's time for the demo. We have two demos. So the first one is about the web app project supports in our Gradle plugins. So I'm going to show you this project. So this is a simple project written in Java with JSF and JPA to connect to a database. And we want to deploy that to OpenShift. So I have already cloned the project, so I can just show you quickly. So there is it is simply about a CRUD for managing tasks. So there is here the entity for the database. There is the bin here. There's the controller to perform some actions like add and delete and update. There's few configuration files like the data source to connect to a H2 database and so on. So the project is is based on Maven, but what I started to do is to move that to Gradle also. So we'll showcase that. So, but when I wanted to try this project and deploy that to OpenShift, I first tried to follow the instructions that are provided in the README file. And there were few commands to perform, importing the image, creating, applying these templates, and then created the app, and creating another app. I don't know. And then when I wanted to create the routes, for some reason it wasn't working. So the service were not created. So first, to me there's a lot of instructions here that are pretty complex, and it is not working. So my goal is to see if it is simpler to do that with JKube. So first, this is the project I've cloned. What I have done is first is to do that with the Maven on the POM XML, but we want to showcase the Gradle plugins. So I just created the Gradle file, so we can do the same thing on with the Gradle plugin. So I just created two files, so build.gradle and which contains what is needed to build the project in Gradle, and there's another one that should contain the name of the project. And I have added two things. So there is this plugin, the JKube plugin for OpenShift. And so this So what is JKube going to do is it's going to detect that this project is a whitefly web application. It's going to use the right images to do that. And for the S2I images that we're using, we have to provide a few environment variables, so it will enable some features like JSF or or installing the H2 driver as a dependency to the web application. So let's give a try right away. So I can just do. So I would just clean up Maven. We won't be using it. I can first try to run Gradle build. So that should just build the WAR file. It should do that in the build folder. So just wait a bit. So it's finishing. Now if I go to ls/build/builds, so we should find the WAR file. Okay, I can even have it there. So we have the project that has been compiled and so on. Okay. So now, if I want to deploy that to OpenShift, so I have created. So I've already logged in to the Red Hat Developer Sandbox. So there's nothing deployed there, and I'm already logged in. So if I do also projects, I should see my project, and now I can just use the command Gradle OC build. So that will use the detect that it is a whitefly web application, and use the right S2I build and create the image. Then OC resource that will create the service and the routes for the application, and OC apply will apply these files in the OpenShift cluster. So let's run it. And let's go to the Red Hat Developer Sandbox in builds. So it has created a build config and has started to perform a build. There. So I'm going to fast forward the build because it takes maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so the build has been completed. So if I go to the topology view, so just let's go back to the command. So it has finished also the task OC resource to generate files, and OC apply to deploy that to our cluster. And as you see, it's been deployed. I can access to the URL of the application, and it should work. So this is the application. I can add new items, new task, and I can even remove some of them. Like for instance, if I want to remove the one, and yeah. So that's it for the demo. So as you can see, it was very easy to just to deploy the application with to OpenShift. So we just had to add the plugins, and yes, for this particular case, we have to inject some these environment variables to the build. So that was it for the first demo. The second demo by Rohan is about what we have done to help reviews and contributions on our JKube documentation.
Hello everyone, this is Rohan from Eclipse JKube team. Since past few sprints we have been working a lot on restructuring and adjusting the documentation, JKube documentation with respect to Gradle plugins. So it involved a lot of time from the reviewer side to review the documentation, generate it locally and verify it. So to ease that workflow, we have now added a CI pipeline to generate documentation so that a reviewer can review it easily without having to pull it on its own machine. So let's take a look into that. So I'll be going to my terminal and I'm on some branch. So first I'll add some documentation. This is a FAQ file. I'll add just one more FAQ, test question and test answer. I'll add it to the index and then I'll commit it. Temp commit. I'll then push it to my branch. Alright. And this should trigger the the doc preview PR workflow. As you can see here, if you go into the details, this workflow should start building the documentation, and once it's finished it should upload the artifacts and we should be able to see it in the artifact tab. Alright, so our workflow seems to have finished. So once it's finished, we can check the uploaded documentation in the artifacts tab, and we can go here and check the uploaded docs. So we changed the Maven plugin docs. We can go here and check. We added an FAQ, so we can go to the FAQ and we should be seeing the doc we added, test question, test answer. So that's what we added. So this concludes the demo. Thanks a lot for watching.
Thank you, Rohan. So if you have any question, let us know. And yes, thank you for watching. See you in 3 weeks for the next sprint review.